The game you're about to see is the first semifinal game in the 2021 May Classic tournament. It comes down to the wire and is played between 4 excellent players. If you want to skip the bidding at the beginning of the video, I put a link down in the description which will allow you to do just that. But I hope you enjoy the game, and thanks for watching. All right, here we are tonight with the semifinal round of the tournament. This is Group B. This is one of 2 semifinal games that will take place. I've got Mr. Durr with me here tonight. Thanks for joining me, man.
How's it going?
It's going well. You got these combinations in front of you?
Maybe. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Pull up the bidding app and hit spectate. So the players haven't all joined. The way this app works is, of course, as a lot of you know, it picks 4 random combinations. But when you enter the room, as you see on your left, Joy and GamerGid already have, you can't see the combinations. You have to press play before you can see the combinations. So they don't know what these combinations are yet, and I would not be shocked if they wanted to re-roll these combinations, because we've got Polania Industrial, Rus-Viet Innovative, Crimea Militant, and Saxony Patriotic.
Yeah, it's a really high roll, actually. Almost all these combinations are quite strong.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Let's see here. But I mean, Rus-Viet Innovative is going to run over everything else.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see here. Just monitoring the Discord at the moment. See if they, here in a second, if they decide to re-roll, because my guess is they will. I'd be a bit surprised if they just ran with this.
Yeah, I think I would be too. I wouldn't really want to play with these combos. I would be up. I mean, I love Polania Industrial though, so
yeah. What do I? Oh, looks like they're playing. Got everybody in here, and AM dropped 0 on Crimea Militant. So does that mean they decided to roll with it? I guess it does. All right, so obviously Rus-Viet Innovative is the strongest combination here, with Crimea Militant being the second strongest combination. So what is your initial thought here? How high does Rus-Viet Innovative need to go? Because I guess the weakest combination is got to be either Saxony or Polania, right? So
yeah, that's a good question though. Like, what is actually the weakest in this situation? And honestly, I'm not sure, because Polania Industrial is usually a pretty easy target. They don't have much power, but Saxony Patriotic typically has a ton. So it's actually kind of hard to say.
yeah, it's interesting to see Crimea Militant at 9 with Rus-Viet Innovative at 0. I mean, neither one of them are going to stay right there. There's no way I would take Crimea Militant over Rus-Viet Innovative in any game, regardless of what's on the table.
Yeah, I think the one advantage Polania has is that there's no other lake faction. So if they're clever about how they move, they might be able to hide on the lakes.
Yeah, for sure. Let me open my YouTube session, make sure that we're actually streaming here. Yeah, it looks like. All right, good. Yeah, it looks like. All right, we've got GamerGid going $1 on Rusty and Innovative now. It's going to start to climb. It has to, $2.
Yeah.
Right. Doing some stream housekeeping over here. Hey, Two Leaf, how's it going? Sorry, guys, I didn't have chat pulled up. So I think I feel like Rust Innovative has to be at least 25 to 28. Crimea Militant has to be 21 to 24 here. And then the question is, I mean, Polani and Industrial, there are factions they could theoretically get combats off. They could theoretically get combats off of Rustfield is tough because of People's Army, but the Innovative board doesn't have a lot of power.
This could actually end up being pretty interesting, because if both Saxony and Polania effectively hide from early game combats, it could be kind of tough for Rustfield to close the game out, because really they're only going to be fighting Crimea. Yeah, this actually could get pretty interesting. At least the way I play Saxony Patriotic is it sits in the base for quite a while, but then sort of explodes out onto the tunnels.
Yeah, I think the pretty standard opening is the double upgrade. I've seen that you have an opening where you go with enlist. Do you still do that, or have you abandoned that?
Yeah, it's kind of my go-to. It's pretty consistent.
Yeah. The one that most people do, and the one I see the most, is the double upgrade on the deploy, and then going back and forth with producing a few trades, get 2 mechs out, and leave the base. And it's just slow. I mean, you might not be doing much before Rustfield ends the game. I still think Rustfield and Crimea
going for 0, which I think I agree with.
Yeah, you're just not in control of this game at all if you're Saxony. You're just really, really at the mercy of what everybody else does.
Yeah, and Saxony typically does poorly against these SS tier combos. But I don't know, if they play it right, I can see them maybe stealing a win. It's definitely set up to be that way, because Patriotic tends to get quite a few coins.
Right.
And if they have a massive bid to overcome, and Saxony gets decent objectives, I could see it going to Saxony.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Saxony, you need to hit that 20 coin mark and get out of your base before the game's over. And if you can get those 2 benchmarks, I agree. I think you've got a shot. But, gee, I still feel like I would not end the bidding right now.
Oh, no. Yeah, probably. I'm not sure how high it should go, though. That's kind of a tough question.
I think Rustfield Innovative has to go for 25, at least. Especially with Crimea Militant just running even with it. And Polania Industrial at 4 right now. I feel like Rustfield Innovative has to be at least 20 above Polania Industrial.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah, Polania is going to have a tough time, because there's no real good place for them to go, to be honest, other than lakes. They might end up getting beat up on a bit if they're not careful.
I mean, you can go to the lakes, but once you go to the lakes, I mean, where's your economy going to come from at that point?
Exactly, yeah.
So Rustfield just gets out of the base so quickly. I mean, it's what, turn 9 they start moving, and they move 4 times and enlist 4 times, and if they've picked up 2 combats and an objective, the game's over. So you've got,
basically.
you don't have much time before you're a target from Rustviet. You don't have much time at all.
Mm-hmm. They're always. I'm always a little bit tentative to do these really high bids because they are dependent on having pretty doable objectives, and there is that chance that you don't get one, and you're just kind of screwed. So it's one of the reasons why I tend to shy away from these sort of combos.
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be true of the innovative and the militant board, right? You get a good objective, you breathe a sigh of relief. You have a bad objective, I mean, in round 1, I think you had to do Common Man with Crimea Innovative.
I did.
And you pulled it off, but when I saw your objective draws, my initial reaction is, well, Durr's in some trouble here.
Yeah.
And you made it work, but you had to pass, what, 12 coins at the end?
Yeah, that was thanks to the new rules of being able to pass coins only for the purpose of gaining the Common Man objective. So that was pretty fortuitous. If it was in a previous tournament, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Which would have completely changed the outcome of that game. Let's see. Lee says, never seen Gamergid in our previous tournament. Should be a good game to watch with all these players. I agree, man. A lot of good players in this tournament. Okay, so we've got Polania now up to 7. Crimea Militant, still higher than Rustviet Innovative, which is mystifying to me. Because you and I have played Rustviet Innovative against Crimea Militant in a ranked non-bid game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know how that goes.
It went badly for Crimea.
Yeah. It's very hard because you always have an advantage as Rustviet in combat, being able to play another card. Like, it's almost unwinnable for Crimea. So if they ever start to tangle with Rustviet, it's really hard to win a combat.
I mean, the one saving grace, I guess, in a bid game, if you're Crimea, is you make so much raw coin that if Rustviet can't end and the game goes longer, maybe your tier 1 threshold is higher. But Rustviet Innovative, if it can't win in turn 12, and say it picks up a popularity factory card, or even just bounces around to encounters and goes to tier 2, the thing is looking at 70 or 80 coins.
Yep.
So I don't know how Crimea Militant keeps up.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be comfortable with Crimea Militant in
Well,
this situation.
the bid just ended, so what do you think about this?
Yeah, that's about where we said.
Yeah, about 25 for Rustviet Innovative, I think is what I said. So let's get these bids on the screen. It's going to take me just a minute here.
I'm going to step away for just 1 minute.
Yeah, Ali says, "Oh wow, only 1 coin difference between Rust and Crimea." Yeah, I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought that Rustviet Innovative would be between 25 and 30, and Crimea Militant would be between 20 and 25. So to see them, I mean, technically that is what happened, but within that range, I didn't expect them to be 1 coin apart when I said that. I kind of feel like AM was on Crimea for a long time there at the end. Maybe bid and then got stuck on it. Be interesting to see how the game goes, and if after the game, what she says about her bid and how she felt about it going into the game. But sometimes you make a bid, and then once you make the bid, you go, oh no, All right, let's see here. So we've got Joy here on the buddy list. It shows, it'll show in game in a minute when he's in the game. So looks like they're probably in the process of creating the game and picking the combinations. So we've got Joy on Polania. We have Albion Wolf on Rustviet, AM Morning on Crimea Militant, and GamerGid on Saxony Patriotic with that low 0 bid. So Saxony's just praying this game lasts long enough for that bid to matter. Gotta get the coins. Gotta get those coins. Seeing the bid text on my screen. Hey Pfeiffer, how's it going? Welcome to the semifinal of the Scythe tournament. Oh, looks like they're loading into the game right now, so we can join them. And it starts with Polania. Joy is very good with Polania Industrial. His win percentage with them in ranked games is absurd.
Really?
Yeah, so he's very comfortable with this combination. Yeah, Pfeiffer, the thing that interested us most about these bids, and sort of, I guess you'd say even surprised us the most, I feel like it surprised me at least, I don't want to speak for Dur here, is that, okay, we got the trade for 2 oil, which is the standard, become the standard Rustviet Innovative opening, is that Crimea Militant and Rustviet Innovative were only 1 coin apart.
Yeah, it's mostly just about whether you can stop Rustviet from ending in like 13 turns.
Ali
really
asks,
comes down to.
Ali's asking what happened to you two. I was expecting to see you both in semis. Not to toot our horns, Ali, but we're actually already qualified for finals, so we're not in semis. Okay, so Rustviet's going with the 3 oil and the trade into the move and the deploy. Pfeiffer asks,
yeah, I do think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Saxony could do a sneaky win here for sure. If I was in this situation, I would probably want to be Saxony. Not gonna lie. One of the ways you combat both Crimea Militant and Rustviet Innovative is by having a lot of power. So if you manage to do that with Patriotic, it could be really good for them.
Yeah. Interesting, we don't see the 2 workers on the Tundra with this opening. Commonly, as I'm sure you know, Saxony Patriotic trades for 2 oil, moves the character out, moves that mountain worker to the Tundra, produces 2 more oil, and then moves to this lineup we see them with here with the character on the encounter. So this opening that Joy is using, it's trades for a metal and a wood now, reduces into a mech, and then takes everything to the village. Absent some sort of submerge mech off the encounter, you're looking at turn 9 factory for Polania, which is slow when you consider Rustviet can get there. Rustviet can get there the next turn. So if you go and get the turn 9 factory, Rustviet can attack you on the factory and maybe get one of those coveted combat stars.
Yeah, it's a pretty consistent opening for Polania, but it's not my favorite actually.
What do you like to do?
I like to do a Riverwalk first thing. And I probably would do it in this situation too, to be honest. But
Saxony's board may be slow enough that you get away with it too.
There's actually a chance that you could harass Rustviet with it, which is wild.
Right, because you can Riverwalk to the village. Rustviet usually so safe in that base. So probably 2 more produces out of Rustviet and another mech. Crimea with 1 enlist and some metal on the ground. For me, Militant, though it's a fast combination, just feels so slow with Rust Viet Innovative on the board. I mean, everything feels so slow with Rust Viet Innovative on the board. I think if you're Crimea or Saxony, you're just sitting here praying that Polania gets out quickly and just clogs up the board so that Rust Viet can't get all the spread that they want to get in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a trade for 2 food into the coin enlist, which means, I believe, turn 10 factory, absent help off the encounter.
He's going to get metal, though. For sure, I can feel it.
We'll see if you're right. We shall see. Saxony here going with the is that a trade for oil? Okay. So this is a pretty standard opening for Saxony Patriotic. They just kind of shook up the order of things from what I normally see. But I think it's all the same plays.
Yeah, it looks like they're probably planning on upgrading deploy again.
You jinxed him, Dur.
Oh no. Well, he did get a structure, which is almost as good. What's the structure bonus, by the way?
Yeah, I guess the good news is he builds this mine, right? And then the next time he moves, he can build another structure immediately.
Interesting. That could actually be pretty good for them.
Yeah, Avid is virtual 3 structor, he told me. So Avid said Sax wasted a coin by trading instead of producing for oil. Yeah, I think that's right. Rust Viet taking the East Village, the safe village. But the village it's a little harder to spread out from. What do you think? Would you have taken the West farm? Would you have taken the West farm there?
Yeah, probably. I mean, unless he's worried about getting attacked by Polania, which I guess they could in 2 turns.
Yeah. Or eventually Saxony, but it's going to take Saxony a little while to get up there.
Right, yeah, it's probably going to be a while.
Okay, so I'm guessing one of these workers is coming off the village as well to this mountain. It means the next produce is going to give enough for the next mech. Which is interesting because then, are we going to see a produce upgrade?
Wow, that's a nice encounter.
Yes. Yes, it is. Number 3 is what you're looking at.
Good old infiltrate the town.
What do you do? What would you do here? Would you put a 3rd upgrade on that deploy or drop one on the enlist?
You could. I think getting at least 1 enlist is pretty valuable.
Yeah.
So I would probably take food and upgrade like bolster and deploy, and then also enlist and produce.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely a solid play, a solid way to utilize this encounter. See what he does. That's exactly what he does.
I'm a pretty big fan of Econ Sax myself because it's only Econ until like turn 12, and then it isn't.
Yeah. The workers on the oil are interesting to me. I mean, you only really need one more upgrade, right? Or unless you're going for the upgrade star, you really only have use for one more upgrade.
Yeah, with that encounter though, that actually makes an upgrade star viable, like within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. Because your next produce gives you oil, your next move gives you another upgrade, and at that point, you're really just looking at needing 2 more. And you're going to produce at least twice more because you need metal, and you only have 2 workers on that village. So you're going to have to produce twice just to get to... Joy just produced to 6 workers. Was that a mistake?
I actually probably would have wanted to see an enlist there, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought about the enlist there, but you can decline the 6th worker. Didn't he just cost himself a popularity, really, for no reason?
It depends on what he does next. Sometimes going to 6 is actually better. Yeah, sometimes. If he, like, for instance, moves 3 workers to metal, he wouldn't have had enough to produce to 8 on his next produce.
That's a good point.
But
maybe that's what he's thinking.
He could also build a mill, so maybe he didn't need to. We'll see.
Yeah. I typically would expect... Ali asks, what's the building bonus? The building bonus is farms and tundras. So... no build bonus out of that initial mine for Melania. So Sax has a choice here, coin enlist or card enlist. You've got 3 mechs to come out of Crimea, 3 mechs to come out of Polania. You haven't built any of your own. That's potentially 10 coins. But he passes on it for the card enlist. Maybe means his cards are not good.
I think if I had to choose one enlist, I probably would take card enlist as Saxony. It's just very good. But yeah, it might mean his cards suck too.
Yeah, typically, historically, people have taken that that card enlist as that first enlist. Well, Joy is getting the encounters with wood tonight.
Yeah, build them.
Build, build, build.
Popularity too. That's actually a pretty good one. He could easily, I think, get tier 2 in this game.
Yeah, he's not going for it though. He pays the 2 popularity to get the worker and 3 oil. So he's at 7 workers now, and there's that mill you were talking about. My guess is Polania is winning this game right now, and that's, well, no, Saxony is technically winning the game right now, but Polania out to a roaring start. So I see Rustviet do this. We see the second produce and the mechs. I like to see Rustviet move once after that first 6 food comes out, because you can pick up that card enlist, and it's just one more. I mean, in this particular case, Crimea is not going to enlist this turn, but Polania might, right? So I would have liked to see a move out of Rustviet. If Rustviet had gone to the west farm, they could have actually moved to the farm tunnel and then produced again right there. But maybe that's too exposed for Crimea in this game.
I think deploying on that farm there is risky too. So, I mean, Rustviet's going to be moving out real quick here.
Yeah.
And Saxony's character is honestly kind of vulnerable, sitting on the village.
And only 5 power right now. Saxony's really taking their time with their deploys. Usually by round 8, Saxony has... Patriotic has it, I'd say, a couple mechs. And they're looking at, well, more power than they have right now, for sure.
Hmm.
Rustviet in turn 8 with all the mechs already on the board. All the workers on the board. Lonnie can't move and build this turn, but they can produce and
They
drop
kind of
another
need
mech.
to get Submerge right now, or else they're going to be a sitting duck for Rustviet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Rustviet still can't reach them for 2 more turns where they are. You could township to the factory, or you could move toward a tunnel, but you can't hit that wood spot this turn.
Yep.
But here comes Rustviet's factory card. Rustviet really loading up on that factory. 2 power for Rustviet and 4 combat cards right now. Did they get combat cards and power off the encounter? I think I missed Rustviet's encounter.
Yeah, I actually don't know what they did.
Because typically you don't see. Typically Rustviet doesn't have power left over, and they only start with 2 cards. So they must have gotten the 2 power and 2 combat cards for $2 encounter. We just missed it. So here's a produce out of Crimea, right? I suppose Crimea could bolster to upgrade. They felt so inclined, and that's what they're going to do. Interesting, the move and the deploy. I mean, that tells me that they are thinking that this game is going to go long enough for them to continue to move and use the deploy bottom row action even after they've got all their mechs out.
Yeah, so that farm deploy, Rustviet can just factory card and attack that farm on their next turn if they want. Yeah, so that's why it was maybe in hindsight not a great choice.
But would you hit Crimea with the 8 power when Polani is right next to you with 1?
I don't know. You can kind of do whatever you want. You're Rustviet innovative.
No, that's the truth. That's the truth. Now, Saxony can upgrade again. Probably going to see an upgrade placed on deploy. Maybe combat cards to deploy. What did they take? The trade. The popularity upgrade. Boy. 0 popularity, and they took the popularity upgrade. This is where Polani is spreading.
Yeah.
And building.
They don't need any more wood, so they can just remove those workers. And the character is kind of... It's actually... It might get attacked there on that tundra if he doesn't move it. So it's kind of a tough predicament.
Attacked by Crimea?
I was thinking Rustviet, probably.
What's the path for Rustviet to reach that tundra where the character is?
Just move to a tunnel, and then after the tunnel move... So 2 moves in a row.
Oh, 2 turns. 2 turns.
I'm actually surprised Joy didn't move there.
Right. Rustviet takes the $2 and the popularity, perhaps sensing that they need to get into tier 2 to cover this bid.
Maybe.
Which, if that's the case, the factory card didn't do them any favors. Although 7 combat cards right now for Rustviet Innovative is sitting pretty. 8 combat cards and 4 power. That's wealthy for Rustviet Innovative. An embarrassment of riches. Right, there's the Purdue set of Crimea. Set up to start moving out of the base. Jeremy Halleck, who would you two have wanted to bid on with these 4 on the board? There, you said that with these bids you'd take Saxony, right?
Yeah, it's a little risky because the game could end before I start spreading out, but I think I could do well with it. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's me, I try to play a tier 2 game as Rustviet. Is what I would have gone with. I don't have to beat at 25 coins. I don't have to beat Polania by 25. Just have to beat Saxony by 25.
Ooh, unfortunately, Polania doesn't have enough popularity to take that recruit. That would have been nice.
Yeah, for sure. Polania. I mean, do you take food off number 2 there?
I don't know if you take number 2 at all.
You have all the wood you need. You could set up a 3rd enlist. But I don't know. Buildings and enlist feels like a stretch in this game.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure Rustviet's going to attack that character on Polania before he can move it, or on the village before he can move it again. So,
yeah. So move and well, there's that worker on that 100 tunnel though. Is Rustviet willing to take the pop hit to do it? I mean, maybe they are. Ooh, some fancy moving out of Rustviet, a little township there.
Yeah.
I like it. Like the clever. Ooh, that is what they wanted to see, and it doesn't take Albion Wolf more than a second to grab it.
Okay, he is going for tier 2. I feel like Rustviet probably could have ended the game next turn if they went more aggressive. But
would they have had the score to do it?
Probably.
Maybe so. Well, they've got tier 2 now, so the question is, where do they get the combats? Crimea, gonna send a worker home. Not gonna mess around with coming out of the base. Crimea doesn't want tier 2, doesn't need tier 2. Not part of the game plan. Got 3 moves.
Not looking bad for Crimea right now.
Yeah.
They managed to get out of their base without getting smacked.
Mm-hmm.
The tunnel. That's kind of the biggest concern, I think. And now that Rustviet looks like they're going for tier 2, you can just use workers as a shield.
Yeah. Definitely. But can you catch them is the question. Can you catch their score? And I think the answer is yes. I think you can.
Yeah, probably.
Polania here cannot move. So they did take food off of that last encounter, it looks like.
Okay, that move upgrade is a big deal. That means they can move all of their stuff off of places they can get attacked the next time they move. So,
and the enlist upgrade as well that you see there at the bottom it's not shabby either, because it means that 2 food, even though it's going to take a while, is enough for the last 2 enlists.
Oh yeah. So and they got shore up the shore right there as well. So Polania is actually looking pretty good too. Honestly, I feel like the longer Rustviet lets the game go, the worse it's getting for them.
Yes. I mean, I feel like if Polania Industrial's not on the board, things are a little different. But Polania just has the ability to gobble up so much territory and clog the board early that as Rustviet, you lose some of your strength to that sort of to that board traffic, because part of what makes Rust V8 Innovative so strong is by turn 12 it has almost full spread across the board, and by full spread I mean, you know, anywhere from 12 to 15 territories. Nine plus, yeah, 15 territories is the max spread you can get without buildings because of factory.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for Rust V8 to hold on to that tier 2, I think.
We haven't talked about Saxony in a while. They're at 21. They're 30 down from Rust V8, which means Rust V8 is beating them. Rust V8 is 15 ahead of Polania, which means Polania is ahead of them. Polania actually ahead in this game right now. And as you point out, Rust V8 has to preserve tier 2. Polania doesn't. Although this building is going to pass a popularity Rust V8's way.
True.
And Rust V8, if they do a regular move, Joy perhaps sensing that and tripling up on that position.
That's interesting. I think I would have just moved every single combat unit I had to a lake right there.
Yeah. Because you're out of
you can't out combat card Rust V8.
Yeah, and Rust V8's in a position right now where they can move the character to this Tundra encounter and attack Polania and take the pop hit if they want. Now you leave the factory a little bit vulnerable if you do that to Crimea. But they're going to go for that Tundra. I mean, 2 food and the popularity, they don't need the food, but they're going to take it. Pop. Kind of wonder if Rust V8 has a doable objective. Maybe they're going for the pop star.
Well, they got the wrong factory card if that's what they're trying to do.
For sure.
I mean, perhaps Joy's trying to get a factory card. Or Polania.
Maybe. You've got Rust V8 now 16 ahead of Polania, which isn't quite enough. So Polania is still leading Rust V8 and leading Saxony. Armenia's going to get a little spread and doesn't want Polania to clog this board up too much. Oh, nice move.
Interesting. Okay. I like it. That's fair, actually.
Get a 1v1 combat with Rust V8. Really a 2v1 if they want to bring the character.
Yeah.
Once that character goes, the problem is once that character goes to that Tundra, they're not coming back out.
Yeah, it's kind of stuck there. People always seem to forget that Crimea can riverwalk to that.
Mm-hmm. From the factory, from a tunnel, from any tunnel, basically. From their home base, if they have a mine. Ooh.
Spending 4s. That's a lot of power from Crimea, actually.
Yeah. Overspent maybe just a little bit. I feel like Crimea doesn't have the score to beat Polania at this point. Even those 27 coins. I mean, and the problem with Rust V8 in Tier 2 is Rust V8's not going to do your dirty work for you. You'd like them to start working on bumping those Polania workers, but Rust V8's not going to do it.
Right.
Kaz points out they're going to have one lone mech even after deploy. I think you're talking about Crimea. And that's true, but Rust V8's got no interest in taking the 3-pop hit, I don't think. Although they're at 9 now, they can take up to 2.
I really hope Saxony gets aggressive here, because this is exactly what I was sort of envisioning.
Well,
It's
you got
turn
you got your
13,
wish.
Time to take all the tunnels.
Yeah, you got your wish. Saxony going for Rustviet right now. Saxony with disarm, by the way. So
Yep.
Rustviet about to lose all their power. I love how this game is going though. You have Rustviet who you feel like could really end anytime they want, but they don't want to.
Yep.
You've got Polania who's in the lead and appears to have this insurmountable lead, but where in the world are they going to get their combats? And Saxony may be providing them with an answer, to be perfectly honest. Because they're about to wear down Rustviet.
Yeah, if everyone starts running around with 0 power, that makes it a little bit easier for Polania.
For sure. Though you didn't want to see Saxony bump that worker. So Saxony either forgetting about People's Army or more likely comfortable with a 2 versus 3 with that sitting on that 10 power.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty interesting fight. How much you want to spend here? You probably don't really want to spend your best cards as Rustviet because you don't have infinite of them, even though it might feel like it.
I mean, you're winning here as Rustviet, but gosh, I mean, I guess you're up by 16 on Polania, which means you're really just neck and neck. The one reason I would have been tempted to spin there is Rustviet. It was an opportunity to get a 0 popularity loss combat.
Exactly. Yeah, I probably would have spent 12 there, to be honest. Or at least 3 good cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty risky by Saxony, actually.
Saxony goes to 3 stars here. Saxony now technically in the lead.
Oh, what was the objective? I missed it.
It was send one back.
Oh, I see.
Okay, Polania trading. Pick up that 3rd enlist. Did they drop the food on this home base village?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess they just feel like that's the safest place on the board for them right now. I really like Saxony's position, to be honest.
Yeah, they got one more deploy, and then maybe they end the game on their next move.
Oh gosh, you're right. They're at 3 stars, but only 3 mechs, so a couple combats and this is over. But where do you get them? Crimea? Crimea's doubled up in 2 different spots. Polania's triple. Rustviet's quadrupled.
I mean, maybe Crimea ends the game on their next move too. This is it's getting pretty tight here.
Crimea's 15 up on Polania, so I mean it's conceivable if they pick up 2 stars, it's 21 and some extra territory. Do it. But I don't think Crimea has the power to pick up. Oh no, they just need 1 combat and an objective. Crimea does. And they don't need to preserve tier 2. So if they've got good cards, they could triple attack Saxony on that tundra or on that farm tunnel. But Saxony's not going to let him get a 3v1.
I think Polania could do some dirty things right here.
What would you do if you were Polania here? Would you
maybe
attack the
throw
factory?
2 combats to Saxony.
Saxony wins if you do that, though, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. They just gained a bunch of points from that last turn. That wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah, Saxony's within 4, and you need to beat them by 8. Polania probably going to take the factory here.
Yeah, this is again another interesting fight, sort of similar to the last one.
And
It's like, how much
Polania.
do you spend at the rest of it? Oh my god!
Oh!
What? No way!
Oh!
That hurts.
Is that GG for Polania?
Oof, I don't know. I mean, there's still technically. I don't know. It depends on whether Saxony can end the game on their turn.
That
Wow,
hurts
though.
if you're Polania. That really
Yeah, for
hurts.
real.
Because how do you end the game now? You can get the enlist this turn, but you don't have a factory card. You need 2 combats. You have 3 power. Rusty is spreading out a little bit now. Saxony with the upgraded move has a lone Rustviet mech they can attack now. By bumping one of the workers, either the Tundra worker or the Mountain worker, off one of these tunnels. But they have to worry about Crimea, I guess. If they isolate any of these mechs by themselves. Rustviet with 8 popularity can still bump 1 but not 2 workers. I do see a spot with 1 worker. I see 2 spots with 1 worker. So if Rustviet can hit Crimea on that wood tunnel with 4 units, Crimea would be able to play a maximum of 12. And Rustviet played a lot of good cards, but if they have 4 cards that add up to 12, they could bump Crimea off of that wood tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they played 2 5s and 2 4s, so my bet would be they only have at best 4 left.
Avid, you asked if Crimea is counting.
I think Crimea could win right here.
Yeah, they have the lone Rustviet mech to attack.
If they can get the objective.
Their distance on Polania looks good. They're up by about 22 and they don't need that much. Distance on Saxony will be good. This could be game. They have the objective. I think this is game.
Still got 1 more move left.
Probably doing some math here. Oh, it can't be game. Rustviet's got 65. In Crimea, knock them down. They can bump 1 worker and pick up 1. That's 3 plus.
I think they could get it.
That's 5 plus 3 more, 8. I think they're double checking their math right now. Oh, but why the Wayfarer? Why not?
Yeah, it's kind of a strange.
They need 3. They already had 3 Tundras. Maybe it's 3 Tundras and they didn't know they already had 3 Tundras. Because I expected.
They also could have just bumped Rustviet's worker on the Tundra.
Yeah, that's what I expected. To see
It might come down to a power tiebreaker. Doing quick math here.
Crimea up by 3 after that. If they turn in the objective right here, they win over Rustviet.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. My math is
They
wrong.
could have bumped the worker and it would have created some separation, but apparently they didn't need to.
Wait, are they beating yeah, they're beating Saxony by enough.
Yeah, it looks like about, what, 28 right now? There it is. Was it 3 Tundras? I think it was 3 Tundras. I had the score up, but look at that. Okay, so, sir, I'm going to eat crow on this. I'm going to recant. Crimea Militant with the win, despite bidding on par with Rustviet. Those 30 coins coming through for Crimea, despite the fact that Rustviet had 30 points on territories to Crimea's 18. Crimea had 30 coins to Rustviet's 16. That upgrade, that turn they spent upgrading to give them that extra metal to be able to move, deploy one more time, that was, what, 3 extra coins?
Right.
Maybe they didn't need it, but it was close. Congratulations to AM Morning, who moves on to the finals. Well,
yeah, nice job, Amelia.
Yeah, well played. Well played indeed.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Rustviet's mistake was going for tier 2. I think they probably could have ended the game about 2 turns ago if they didn't.
So let's run down the math pretty quick, just real quick. We've got Crimea in first place. They bid, what'd we say, 24, so they come out with 44 coins. We've got Rustviet bid 25. Chad has pointed out that Rustviet and Saxony actually tie.
Oh, interesting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They tie on units as well. So Saxony takes second place on the tiebreaker with Rustviet for units. Rustviet gets third, and Polania comes in fourth.
It's so the second tiebreaker is power, right?
Second tiebreaker is power, which I just assumed Saxony had over Rustviet, and they do.
Right.
Yeah. So Saxony wins the power tiebreaker with Rustviet, but it's semifinals. So the real story here is that AM Morning moves on. I'd say congratulations and well played. Thanks for joining me, Derb.
Yeah, it was fun.
I will. Thanks for watching, guys, and catch you all later.